Órale, Cholo Trucker, los tres chingones boxing shots to all the chingones y chingonas. As you guys may already know, Terrence Bud Crawford stripped for his strap, the IBF strap, and Jerome Boots Ennis elevated to full champion at welterweight at 147. Now, look, this can go many different ways on how people are looking at this, right? Hey, man, is it fair that they stripped Terrence Crawford? Are you kidding me? We were pushing, I mean, the boxing world was pushing for Crawford versus Spence to unify for what, 5 years, just so it could last a matter of months and then strip Crawford and give it to Boots Ennis. You know, we could go so many different ways with this, Holmes. And by the way, those are all legitimate arguments. However, was Terrence Crawford even going to be at 147 anymore? Now, word was and has been that Spence was going to be moving up to 154, right? Now, he did activate his rematch clause, and apparently the fight was going to happen at 154. But then again, I heard Crawford come out and say, well, it wasn't Crawford himself, but the whole thing with him going up to fight Canelo and see if that can happen. That's a little bit of a fairy tale fight. I'm not really sure that fight ever really happens, man. But so he's stuck with Errol Spence Jr. Does it happen at 147? Doubt it. Think it happens at 154. Is it cool that the IBF stripped him for his strap? Honestly, no, I don't think it is, man. I really don't. However, look, I've said this before. All right. I just want to see good fights. Now, for the most part, people like to believe that the champion means you're the best. That's not always the case. In this case, I think it is. I don't think there's a better welterweight than Terrence Bud Crawford. I don't. Boots Ennis, I think, is a really good, solid fighter. But I don't think he beats a Terrence Bud Crawford. But hey, you know what? We don't know unless that fight ever happens, right? Which I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But Crawford is still stuck with this rematch with Errol Spence Jr., which who knows when it's going to take place. Word is that it's going to be in February. We'll see what happens with that. But what's your guys' thoughts with the IBF stripping Bud Crawford for his title? You guys cool with it? You're not cool with it? Does it matter to you? Like I said, it's like, man, we were trying to push to unify the straps for how many years? And the number of years didn't even match the number of months that it lasted because they stripped them. So personally, I don't really have too big of an issue with it. I think it's, if I had to choose, I'd rather choose that they didn't. But then again, I'm not really sure where Bud Crawford is going with his career. Is he going to 154? Because if he is, then yeah, fine. Then strip him. I don't care. So to me, it's basically what Bud is going to do. Now he has to get back into this fight with Spence because of the rematch clause. So I don't hold that against Crawford. I don't hold it against Crawford saying that, hey, Holmes, you know what? He's holding up the welterweight division. No, there's a rematch clause, and he has to honor that. After that, what was going to happen, I'm not really sure. But to me, it would all depend what he was going to be doing with his career after the Spence fight. And how active was he really going to be? Because let's be honest, he's not the most active fighter out there either. So I don't really have too big of an issue. Again, if I had to choose, I'd rather choose that they didn't. However, does this add excitement to the welterweight division while him and Spence are over there working out their issue with the rematch clause? Yeah, actually it does, man. Maybe it does. Maybe it is better for boxing that they take a strap away from him and throw it to Ennis. Puts a target on Ennis for some of these welterweights. Maybe it is, because who knows when we're going to see Crawford fight again at welterweight? Once he fights Spence, which I believe he'll win, when do we see him get back into the ring? How long? Because he's not the most active fighter out there. So again, man, there's many different ways we could go with this, but what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this, man? You guys cool with this? You're not cool with it? Cholo Trucker, los tres chingones boxing. Shout out to all the chingones y chingonas. Catch you guys on next round.